We're starting a little early today. I am in such a great mood, but not only am I in a great mood, but I have been deep in the Lord today, and His presence is just so awesome and beautiful. Um, I could never. There's my baby girl. I could never get over His wonderful power and yet gentleness when He comes over me. Now, I had started out to do devotions, but I had decided to turn on worship music in the background, and I just got so caught up in the worship that I couldn't even finish my devotions. I went into worship, but it's been a beautiful morning with the Lord. Very beautiful. So let's go on ahead and talk about what's up. Um, Yesterday I came in at 220.7. My protein was up significantly by the time everything was said and done because I went on ahead and added yogurt. And so that elevated my protein. And I registered the housework and everything. But overall, there was still the very large margin between the proteins and the carbs. So it was very good. And when I weighed in this morning, I came in at 220.2. And I'm feeling good. I am feeling so very good. Um, I'm feeling good physically and emotionally, mentally. Like, uh, I don't find myself fighting this now. Um, and it all basically comes down to me just following the lead of the Holy Spirit. And He does direct my path and what I'm to eat for the day and everything. Like, I'll give you a for instance, an example. As I told you, I think it was Saturday or maybe Friday, but I told you Monday, I think. Anyway, it was one of those days that I didn't have much of an appetite and I couldn't hold what I was eating. Well, no, actually, it would have been Tuesday that I told you because it was Monday that this took place. So Monday morning, I had my usual sausage and egg, and I couldn't get through all of it. For one, where I'd been having sausage and egg for so long, I couldn't quite choke it down so easily. But yet the yogurt still went down good. But uh, I struggled with the egg and sausage. And then with my dinner, which consisted of my chicken thigh, and I had curry instead of, sorry, no mean to be burping on you. Um, I had I had been eating the chicken with Italian and Worcestershire, but this time I had it with curry, and I was eating it with a noodle cup that was of curry. Now, what I had done was I had done a taste test on the noodle cup. And so I wanted the chicken to go along with that noodle cup. And once again, I found that I struggled to eat it. I couldn't put it all down. Now, I kind of took it. Excuse me, I got a ant on my toe. I got to get rid of. Yeah, these little ants think that my feet are this food. Anyway, oh, praise you, Jesus. Praise you, Jesus. Um, as I was saying, once again, I found that I wasn't able to eat all of it. And I was telling the Lord that I was kind of struggling to eat and I didn't know what else I was going to do. And then he reminded me that whenever I had my curry chicken, I would use ranch. And I got thinking about the sausage and eggs. And then I remembered that I used to eat my scrambled eggs with ketchup. So I had leftovers for yesterday, and I just got a new subscriber. Anyway, um, I had added ranch to the leftover yesterday, and I decided to have it for breakfast, the chicken and the curry noodles. And I tell you what, that ranch made such a difference. I was able to eat every bit of it. And so this morning with my sausage and eggs, I had ketchup, and once again, it went down so good. So, but no, I have kind of been trying, well, not necessarily trying as much as just outright doing it. I've kind of been pulling away from using condiments. Um, for one, because they are an added calorie, but for two, just to see if I would like food without them. And so far, on the whole part, the food has been pretty good without adding any condiments. But on occasion, like I'm not going to eat a dry salad. I have to have my ranch. But like me dipping my shrimp and other things like that, like a ketchup or ranch or, I've really been pulling away from the condiments, not eating the condiments so much. But if there's a food that I can't put down anymore, and I used to eat it with something, then I guess it's just better that I go on ahead and eat it like that. That way I can put it down. Boy, these ants really think that I'm good food, man. Could you imagine if they would get a good hunk of my foot and take it back to the nest? They'd be eating for a month. Anyway, um, I think it was Monday in my live stream. I had said that butter would have more protein than margarine because I was considering about switching over to butter to add protein. And I looked, and there's no protein in butter, which is hard for me to believe because it is a milk product. I would believe 100% that there's no protein in margarine, but the nutrition label said there's no protein in butter. So that kind of shocked me. I haven't looked on my chicken bouillon yet, but I'm going to look and see if there's any protein in that. Uh, we'll see. I'm trying to think of ways to add protein without just having meats. That way I can really add my protein up and have an even bigger variety to eat on. Um, I know that there's certain types of beans and legumes that has protein, but I don't, I'm sorry, I don't really like beans and legumes all that much. So that's easier said than done, right? Um, and I know that there's a little bit of protein in vegetables, not much, but some, and that helps too. Um, I'm just, I'm studying now, I guess you could say. Maybe not necessarily study. Maybe study isn't the word, but I am carefully looking over the the nutrition labels, because I didn't pay any attention to them before. I didn't have no need to. Whatever I wanted, I ate. But I'm really seriously paying closer attention now, because I do want to make sure that I eat what I need to, and less of what could be at a minimal. So that's where I'm at right now. I kind of feel sorry for Brianna in a way, the one that I've been watching on Jesus in the Gym. She had said that she hates it when people comes across and says that weight loss is easy. And she absolutely 100% believes in giving it all to the Lord. And she's been given her weight loss journey to the Lord, which on the whole part, she's pretty well lost the weight, but now she's in maintenance. But she said that it is hard because we're constantly going against the flesh. I have to agree with that, yes. But at the same time, I disagree, because, um, well, personally, I have found that by giving it over to the Lord, that's one thing, but to also follow His lead is the other. And as long as I am truly, as long as I am truly following His lead or paying attention to His leading, it is so much easier. And but yeah, in the past, I would have 100% agreed with her. Like, really, seriously, I would have. Like, I would have gone, yeah, it's hard. Like, I can't even make it budge. But that's not the case now. Look what I did. Look what I did. I'm fighting the wind on this. And with the mirror effect, I don't know which direction I'm pulling my hair. Oh, the Texas wind. It feels great. But man, if you don't have hairspray, there goes your due. Anyway, it's all good. It is all good. But I am finding that the weight is coming off a lot easier as long as I follow God's lead. But now, if I turn around and give in to what might be lying around the house, and like all of a sudden I find myself actually wanting it, and I ate too much of it, that's a different story. But I notice that the further I get in this, where I am really focusing more on what my body truly needs, I'm not struggling so much anymore with what I didn't need. And believe you me, in the past, okay, like for instance, Sunday, I done a taste test with my house partner. He had bought quite a few snacks for us to taste test, and all sugary. And when it's all said and done, the sugar really adds up. And before we had even started the taste test, I told him, I said, I'll be a guest on your video and I'll go on ahead and try these with you. But in the future, if there's anything that you want me to be a guest with you about, make sure that you look at it and that it is a very high protein product. And then I went on to explain to him that I'm not giving up sugars or carbs, but I'm bringing them to a minimal, and that my bigger focus is the proteins. Now, there is still leftovers in the cabinet, and I've been enjoying a piece or two since Sunday, but in the past, I would have gone back over and over and over again that Sunday and made sure it was all gone. In the past. But there's still stuff left in the cabinet. And that is a giant change for me. And I'm okay with that. But I know for a fact that at one point in time, I would have fought so hard not to get into that pantry to get the leftovers of that taste test. I would have fought hard and still gave in. And now I'm not having to fight over it. I'm not going back and indulging on it. And I'm not having to fuss and fume and fight to keep from doing it. And that in itself is a very huge progress for me. Huge. Very, very huge. And I give God all the glory. This is a progress that just keeps getting better and better and better. Uh, Not too long ago, just in the last recent months, I'd really gotten upset, but I kept it to myself. But I really got upset when my housemate would bring home a bunch of goodies, a bunch of junk. I would find myself getting upset, just hardly able to wait to be able to get out of here. Rich, I'm planning on leaving someday. I've got to have a place of my own. But until then, I'm grateful that he has provided me a roof over my head. But I have found myself many a times fighting at the bit, wanting to hurry up and get out of here to get away from all the stuff that he keeps bringing in. But I have been finding here lately that it's been getting easier for me to just overlook what he has brought home. And I'm not wanting to indulge. I'm not wanting to become a glutton. It's getting easier and easier for me. So I'm not as upset him bringing stuff in. And I really can't say anything about it anyway. It's his house. He can bring in whatever he wants. So, but it is a big giant difference from how it used to be for me personally, because it was a giant battle, a very huge giant battle. And so it never mattered how much weight I lost. It would always come right back because I had never had the victory over the foods that was sabotaging me in the end. And it really it bums me out, which it is getting easier for me to say it, but at the same time, it still kind of bums me out because I had declared so many times, so very many times, that these diet gurus are wrong, that you can enjoy junk food too and lose the weight. And, like there was a few times I proved it because I lost weight while eating them. But it has come to my attention that in the end, it doesn't stay. So I have had a very hard lesson in this. Now, the one difference between them and me is the fact that they say you can't eat it, period. Like, completely out of the picture, totally, completely. That's the reason why a whole lot of people has gone to keto because they want to completely knock it out, believing that it is the ultimate uh-uh. And instead they're replacing it with fake sugars, which really isn't healthy in themselves. Um, but I'm not going to get into that because I haven't done a full study. So I can't declare it. I just know what it does for me personally. Aside from me not liking the aftertaste, uh, it lands in my stomach like a rock. I don't like that. So I rather just avoid fake sugars and give in when I do need a little bit of sugar. But I am finding that as long as I continue eating my Greek yogurt, that helps a whole lot with my sugar intake, which it is sugar in my Greek yogurt. But that is okay because compared to my coffee drink, it is relatively less. And the Greek yogurt in itself is really doing great for me in different areas. So uh, that's helping a whole lot. But on the whole part, I'm finding I'm not needing a whole lot of sugar. I'm not needing a whole lot of sweets like I did when I was addicted to junk food. So the change, I would say that the first time I noticed that there was a difference was probably back in late of February or somewhere in March when I had actually I think it might have even been last year, but I didn't stick with it because I went right back to eating a whole bunch of junk. I went back to eating theater candy and all that, and my Krabby Patty gummies and Good and Plenty and all that. Anyway, but I had discovered it only took about a week of just eating the more balanced, wholesome food and not eating any kind of sweetening or junk food that I actually didn't crave it. But what made me go back to eating it was I just I saw an ad on one of the videos I was watching, and there it went. So I had to go and satisfy myself. And there it went. But this time around, because I have been putting it more into practice, it has become less of a problem. And so now like I can see things and I go like I kind of miss eating that. But it doesn't trigger a enormous craving for it. Like for instance on Brianna's video last night, as she was talking about struggling with eating junkier food and not losing weight, and she quickly flashed up a pizza with soda. And the question was, why can't I stop eating that kind of food? And the pizza looked delicious. Now, mind you, I will eat a slice or two of pizza, but it's very seldom. Maybe once every other week or so, or even longer. So pizza isn't like one of the things on my list, which I don't have a list anyway, but it isn't something that I eat on a regular basis. And the soda I had discovered a few months ago that after drinking it every day, it just didn't taste good anymore. So I don't have a problem cutting out soda. I don't have a problem with eating a pizza, a slice or two, ever so often. But on occasion, I do want that variety of flavor. And so now that I have gotten it down that I need to keep focus on my protein and do less on my carbs and sugars, now the main issue is to find a good variety of foods with different flavors that will fulfill those slots. So I don't know. I don't really want to look it up on the internet because the internet would say strictly dot dot dot. But I am wanting to somehow or another find a great variety of foods with different flavors that wouldn't take so much of the food budget and is easy to make because I was doing fast fixins like in the oven and the microwave, and now I almost cook everything on top of the stove. I do it by hand now. I very rarely find myself quickly popping something into the microwave. So I would like for it to be easy to fix up and have a great marginal macro between the protein and the carbs, or at least the added sugars, because that's my bigger focus. Not the carbs as much, because the carbs in the end do add up, but the um, the added sugars is the bigger issue. And I do want to make sure that I take in carbs because that is my quick energy. But I'm not wanting the carbs to be so outrageous that in the end they outweigh the proteins. In the past, that's what ended up happening. My carbs ended up being so much larger in proportion than my proteins. And now it's actually going in reverse. And the that pie chart is looking better and better, I tell you. So now, for any of you who don't know what I'm talking about, a pie chart, I'm not talking about the list of pies that I can eat. I'm talking about the pie chart that shows the graphics of the percentages in my macros. My protein percentages are rising and outnumbering the carbs, and the numbers are getting better and better on that chart. So if any of you would have any ideas for quick fixings that has lots of flavor, a lot of protein, very little added sugar, or at least a decent amount of carbs, but the proteins greatly outweigh the carbs and the added sugars, and it doesn't consist of beans and legumes, please. Because, like I said, I am not big into beans and legumes. But if any of you have a delicious idea that would make a great alternative that is also easy on the food budget, because there's only so much that I can spend, um, feel free to go on ahead and leave it in the comments section below. I would love to know if any of you have any recipes or ideas that really work. Um, I had noticed yesterday, and I had done 2 live streams yesterday, one on this channel and one on Love's Light. And when I was doing my live stream on Love's Light, I had really noticed that my face is starting to get a little slender. It's not so round and puffy. So something is really starting to take place in my physical composition. And it always seems like the face is the first to show it. But it's just a little there, but I can see it. I can see that difference. And I don't think it's got anything to do with my hair, but I am really noticing somewhat of a difference in my face. And it just dawned on me, and I'd said it before, but it really struck just now. Since January, I have literally lost 15 pounds. Now, the reason why that, like, 15 pounds is a lot, but in the amount of time it's took, that's because I have been going through this roller coaster in the loops, trying to figure out what works best. But those numbers really should start changing now, and more or less in the speed that it happens and in the less amount of time that it appears. But I have gone through so much in the last few months. And even though I had started taking more notice in my proteins, I still hadn't undergone bringing down my carbs. The carbs was almost as high as the protein. So that's where the bigger change is. That's where it's really starting to happen. And so it truly is being an eye opener. And anytime I think about it, anytime I really think about it, and I go, wow. I was even doing that last night. I was thinking about it as I was in my nightly prayer. And I really, I took time out to backtrack and see my old habits of sitting on the couch, watching TV all day long with a bowl of chips that I keep going back and getting another bowl, another bowl, another bowl, hardly leaving any for anybody else, having theater box candy or bags of candy, and just gluttony, gluttony. That was how. That's how I was doing. That was my old habit, and I would have to say that at least over the last um, what, from 18 to now, I guess since back around 2018, I have slowly started evolving, but not completely changing, but slowly revolving. But here of late has been my greater change. Here of late has been the ultimate change. And if there is anything else that I need to be doing, the Holy Ghost will direct me because I am really relying on Him. But I broke down crying last night when I thought about where I had been. It's been close to 6 years. No, I'm sorry. 13. Yeah, it would be, well, closer to 14 actually. It has been close to 14 years. Close to 14 years since I had gone from that type of lifestyle. But it was really, really horrible back in my 30s and 20s. It was bad. It was real bad. And even in my early 40s, I didn't, even though I thought I was still trying to lose weight, I wasn't taking in any regards to what I was eating or even the fact that I was living a sedentary life. I didn't take any regard into it. But yet I still thought I was losing weight or trying to lose weight. Man, what a joke. I was laughing at myself and didn't know it. And I had attempted the Ray down several times. done it for a short while and went back to my old ways. I had even heard from Gloria Copeland once that she said that before you eat a meal, you ask the Lord to help you to get through that meal and to show you when to stop. I attempted that for about a week and that was it. I just, I went through these things of trying and giving up because it wasn't happening fast enough and because I felt myself not happy. And I guess I honestly thought that food would make me happy because, yeah, it's like a pleasure to sit and eat it. It's a pleasure. You sit there and you indulge on all the different flavors that you enjoy so much. But in the end, you're cursing yourself. And it didn't do any good to cry out to God and boo-hoo, oh Lord, help me with this, help me with this. It didn't do a lick of good because I wasn't truly willing to do what it would take. I had to get down to that lowest point in February of this year to really cry out and beg God because I was done with it. I was done with the fight. I was done with the battle. I was worn out. I was to the point I didn't want to even try anymore. I was like, I've tried too much, too long. I'm exhausted. And I remember that night so plainly. I'm sitting there and I am bawling my eyes out and I'm telling the Lord, I am so tired. I can't try anymore. And then finally I thought, okay, let's see about having him lead. Because I had asked him before, what did I need to do? And he had told me different things. And they worked temporarily until I turned around and gave in to my old ways. But this time I completely gave it over. And I asked him to lead me, to just show me what I was to eat. And it has been a very slow evolvement, but it has been taking place little by little as I allow him to show me. And there was a few things that I still just wasn't quite getting until here recently when he had put those few people up on my recommendation list. And it was said, eat less sugar. I think that right there was my bigger turning point. That was the big boom. And then when I heard that, the Holy Ghost was able to tell me, cut down your mocha. That's been the bigger turning point. Since I had started drinking less of the mocha, that is when I started losing the weight again. And that was last week. This morning, I only drank about 6 ounces. And my stomach, looking down at it, is so much smaller. Whereas just last week, after I would drink my mocha and I would drink a full 10, 12, 20 ounces, I was finding myself literally drinking 20 ounces. And my stomach would be so exploded. Like, really. And it did not look pretty at all. It was horrible looking. And I would find my stomach burning, and then the acid reflux would come up when I'd lay down. And It's making a big difference now. And uh, I think it was Monday. I didn't even have one drop of it. This morning, I really didn't even want any. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it, but I thought, okay, I'll have just a little bit of mocha with my breakfast. But before that was like my go-to. I immediately dived into the fridge and got my coffee, and now it's really not on the top of my mind. I could see that carton there on the door, and whereas before, even like I would have my main cup in the morning, then I'd want more and have some later. And that kind of messed with me too because I'm supposed to take my iron, and I can't take iron after having coffee. And so it would mess me up on taking my iron. And now I can take my iron. Of course, I can't take it with my thyroid. I have to take my iron in the evening. My thyroid is in the morning. So these dietary changes are really making a huge difference. And I am still finding out. I'm still learning. I'm still taking it in. But it is getting easier and easier. And it's actually becoming more and more of a routine, which is terrific. So, let me see, was there anything I wanted to add? I finally done a little bit of strength training this morning, which it was actually more body toning than strength training. I really, basically, I just done planks and then donkey kicks. Um, but I did a little bit of floor exercise this morning. I was hoping that the Lord would get me up around 5 o'clock so I could have done a walk with him, but he didn't wake me up. He let me sleep in. So, okay. Um, I am truly feeling good though. I really am. I don't know where I'm feeling better at, emotionally or physically. And I know mentally I'm really feeling good. I'm feeling great mentally because I know I'm finally doing something right. And it's no longer a mental battle, which is a great peace of mind about. Um, I know emotionally I am feeling, I think I see now why my toe keeps feeling like that. Well, I have to check that out after a while. Anyway, I am finding that emotionally I'm feeling good. I think because I'm happy. I'm happy with the different changes that's taking place with me because they not only am I changing how I eat, not only am I losing the weight, but I am also having a different mindset about what I do during the day and things, and it's making a big giant difference, and I'm finding myself enjoying it. I am actually finding myself enjoying it, like getting excited to do it now. Whereas before I dreaded it, but now it's like I want to do this. I want to do this. Yes, yes, I want to do it. So Oh my goodness gracious. This is not the same Amy Step that I knew months ago, years ago. Not the same. Not the same. I like the new me. I like the new me. And the more I develop, the more I change, the more I evolve, the more that I learn and do, the more I like myself. Like it's a me that I've never known before, and it's a me that I know is for the better. And so every day is another part of the journey, and I am enjoying the journey. It has been well worth every bit of it. I'm enjoying it. It's been good. And I'm so very grateful to Father God for the Holy Spirit, because He has been relentless in showing me and teaching me, and at the same time being so patient with me. The biggest difference is having Jesus Christ in my life and trusting Him to lead my steps. That's been the bigger difference. Without Him, there's no way that I would even be coming this far. I can't do it in myself. I need Him, and it's the only way that I can do this. And with Him, I am being a conqueror. Boy, I can hardly wait to see how much I weigh at the end of this week, and the end of next week, the end of this month. Dirty. But yeah, and I'm not going to set myself any great goals now, other than my main goal to reach 135. But I'm not going to make myself any more goals other than that. And I'm just going to keep on going. And I'm going to reach 135. I'm going to reach it. And I am going to maintain it. And when that comes, it's going to be a glorious celebration. I'm going to celebrate with Christ. And I am going to rejoice and jump for joy. It's going to be good. It is going to be absolutely great. So anyway, I don't have anything else to add. I'm going to get in here and get busy on the small list of chores that I've got listed for myself, and I'm going to rejoice as I do them and just continue glorifying God for the rest of the day. It's been a great day. It's been a terrific day. The Lord has been with me all morning. It's just been awesome. So, so anyway, I am going to leave you with this, and I will see you tomorrow with another live stream. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you to any new followers. I appreciate you coming and joining. And yeah, you all have a great rest of your day.